It's the nation's most disappointing state park, but it makes for a very exciting video. Today's hero's journey ends with a breathtaking view from Cape Disappointment. But to get there, we must travel far across the lands and across the sea to the foreign lands of Washington. Come along as we embark on our quest. It's morning and I'm waking up. We're gonna have some breakfast, and then we're gonna get going. We have a long trip ahead of us going up the Oregon coast, and it's gonna end in Washington today, so it's gonna be very exciting. We're taking all the back roads and the scenic drives. It's gonna be great. The rainbow ends right there. That's the end of the rainbow. You saw it here first. It's right there in the wow, in the lake right there. I mean, since it is an optical thing, it does move along with you, so you'll never reach the end of it, but that's pretty cool. You can also see it into the water, but I can't turn the camera like that. Let me remove you from the tripod. You can see it over there. That's pretty interesting. You never know what you're gonna find on the road. I was driving down this tiny beach town, and I saw this amazing looking tiny house thing. Well, it's not so much a tiny house, but it's got some real unique looking living space. Looks like 3 stories with a garage on the bottom. It's really a fancy way to stack what amounts to just 3 shipping containers on top of each other. Man, this architecture and style is my sort of taste. It's modern and stylish, compact. You could get a normal house plot and use the rest of the land as a self-sustaining garden type thing. I just had to pull over and take a look at this. Luckily, I think it was a display house and they had a sale sign with the info about it out front. So here's some free advertising for you. Man, this house is cool. I wish I could have seen inside. I couldn't find any info about it on their website. Somehow a shoe got caught in my van grill. I wonder how long it's been there. It's hanging there perfectly. This is Astoria, Oregon, and then there is the bridge right there that will take you over to Washington. Now, I vaguely remember coming over this bridge when like a decade ago. Maybe twice, I don't remember. We got all the houses and buildings on the shore over there. I'm in a pretty good state these past couple of days. And I haven't been eating fast food, I've hit personal records on my bench press, and we're driving through some of the most beautiful scenery America has to offer. Puts you in a zen state, which word associates me to the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which is a great story on travel and philosophy. It's hard to get a scale just by this video of how big that bridge actually is, how tall it is. It's still as big as I remember as a kid. Maybe I can go underneath and find some denim. Don't worry, I'll definitely boil it first.
What? Dude, the other day we were hanging out under the bridge. We found a box of denim, and I'm like, you know, these look like good jeans in here. And he's like, you want to split it with me, 50-50?
I wanted you to have half of that denim.
He shared half the jeans.
Charlie, Charlie, stop wearing clothes you find washing up under bridges.
Oh, they're boiled. Yeah, we boil all our denim.
I'm driving up these hills and it's like so steep. I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't like tip over backwards. This whole town is like on the side of a big hill. Like that street in San Fran, that's just one big slope. The focus point is the big old bridge in town, but it seems to be a pretty big neighborhood extending up into the hills, into the forest here too. I know there's a lot of people who live in Oregon and commute to Washington. One state has no sales tax and one state has no income tax or property tax or something like that. I can't really recall. I think the average commute time is like 30 to 45 minutes across the United States. That seems like a long time to me. That basically adds 2 hours of work to your day, every day. Though you can make it a little bit better with audiobooks and podcasts. My longest commute when I was living in Atlanta was about 25 minutes. My coworkers there mostly had 45 minutes to an hour themselves. I had one friend who had a 3-hour commute across the city. That's 3 hours both ways. Absolutely crazy. At that point, you need to figure something else out. Ooh, this is some steepness. We got a little school field trip going on over here. Look at the crane up there. Ooh, that's spooky. Up and onto the big ol' Astoria Bridge. This thing is giant, and it's so high up. I'm actually not such a big fan of heights either, You know that feeling that you get when you're looking over the edge of a tall cliff and there's that little voice in the back of your subconscious telling you that you should jump? Yeah, I don't really like that feeling. I feel like I'm going to listen to it one time. Like if I hold my camera off over the edge of something, I'll imagine I'll drop it, even if I'm holding on really tight. It's the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. I read somewhere that the voice telling you to jump might actually be an evolutionary trait left over from some really early time in the chain where we lived in trees like squirrels and would swing and climb and from high up. Who knows? Opened 52 years ago in 1966, this Astoria Bridge is the longest continuous truss bridge in North America. Ferry service between Astoria and the Washington side of the Columbia River started up in 1926. That's the same year that the Treaty of Berlin and the crowning of Emperor Hirohito. The Oregon and Washington DOT built the bridges as a quicker and more reliable form of transport. The ferries didn't even go across when there was weather issues, and of course it's the Pacific Northwest, so there's a lot of rain. People couldn't get across. There's no commuting there. Normally, only motor vehicles like cars and, this awesome van and some bicycles are allowed on the bridge, not pedestrians. However, one day a year, it's usually in October, the bridge is a host of the Great Columbia Crossing. The event uses the bridge to cross the river, and the entire route is 6 miles. Participants are taken by shuttle to the Washington side, from where they either run or walk to the Oregon side, all across the bridge, and they close that down for no traffic can come, just pedestrians that day. It's the complete opposite. She's got to be kind of cold out here. Can you see how the crane is like tipping? Like just from the weight? That's horrifying. I don't like heights. It's awful. And to do that, he's not getting paid enough. Do they have earthquakes out here? Or strong gusts? God. Just awful. That's the type of courage it takes to keep society moving. As I sit here and eat my chocolate protein bar. You can feel the bridge sway back and forth and vibrate. Jesus, I don't like this. I really don't like this. I don't know why I decided to do this. And I'm going to be the first to cross the bridge. Bunch of people behind me. Bunch of trucks and cars. Here we go. Man, it's crazy. Such construction. Like, how do you even go about doing this? How do you know to make bridges? Look at the engineering. When was this even made? So many questions that I just won't find the answers to. We'll get back on this side of the road, I guess. That's a big motorhome. That creeps me out, kinda. Driving all that. Wow, look. Wow, this is just beautiful. Wow. Kind of reminds me of the Skyway Bridge in Florida, St. Pete. This is a lot taller, though, I think. I wonder what the speed limit is here. Looks like the Florida Everglades right now. This is exactly what it looks like, except for these hills. But, I mean, you just get, like, swamp and grass, water, and all types of cool stuff. It's nice. I like Florida. I like it a lot. And I only realized I liked it. Oh, there's another rainbow. I only realized I liked it once I moved away. There's another end of the rainbow right there. Isn't that neat? We get to see two in one day. I hope you can see it. I thought I was in Washington, not the Everglades. Though, to be fair, it's colder here than in Florida. People complain about the rainy weather, though it's been pretty good so far for me. We'll see, I guess. I also dig the rain more than I would the humid heat of my home turf. Everything is nice and green. I didn't grow up with the landscape here, so it seems interesting and foreign. In this case, the grass may actually be greener. Well, until Florida's hurricane season. If it's not a Cat 5, I'm not even getting out of bed. Cape Disappointment. Isn't that one of the best names for a national park? Are you ready to be disappointed? I hope so, because we've reached Cape Disappointment. This state park is located on the bottom oceanside corner of Washington State, right across the bridge from Astoria. It's got lighthouses, Beaches, trees, nature, and with a name like Cape Disappointment, I couldn't help resist coming by. Lighthouses stand sentinel atop windswept cliffs. Sea smells waft up through the air and waves collide with a crash where the Pacific Ocean meets the Columbia River below. Named for Captain John Murray's first thwarted voyage to find the Columbia, Cape Disappointment is steeped in Northwest history. This is the place to explore the U.S. military and maritime legacies and to experience the story of Lewis and Clark. Step into the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center for interactive exhibits. Find overgrown ruins and military bunkers and coast defense batteries, and hear tales of 2 lighthouses in the first attempt to reach the Columbia River by ocean. Hike through old-growth forests, or around freshwater lakes, saltwater marshes, and ocean tidelands. Gape at the breathtaking views. Launch your boat from Baker Bay. Benson Beach is a popular clam-digging destination, and fishermen love to set up on the North Jetty to catch salmon and crab. The beaches of Cape Disappointment also lure kite flyers, sandcastle builders, and those who just love to walk and explore. But for me, it's just a great place to have lunch. See, you don't get to see this type of cool stuff if you're just in Florida doing stuff. A nice little marina here. These seaside towns are really cool looking. I bet there's a bunch of BLM land or some camping around here, but we're running out of daylight, and I'm also a slave to routine, so it's off to the Walmart that's just inland a bit. And I can rationalize it by adding that I also need to get stove fuel. There's a railroad right there. Well, how do you like the drive so far up the coast? I dig it a lot, though it's so breathtaking that I just don't have anything interesting to say over all the footage that I want to upload. That's my excuse. Tune in next time when I read the phone book over highway footage. Hit that subscribe button so you definitely don't miss it.